Sanmanani Dumilang Apsheni. Hello, it's Siwu and Spear back with another video. So today we're going to be checking out the Freedom Chasers, right? Two Americans that came to South Africa and they want to share with us 10 things they found was interesting
No,
or
it's 10 things they found shocking while they were visiting South
shocking.
Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's check them out.
We also noticed that the way people dress here is very, very similar to America.
Of course. Of course. You know what they don't understand, though, Americans, is how much they actually influence a lot of our culture as well.
Yeah.
Like a lot of our
Our pop culture, especially like the kids, the youth.
yes.
The youth really like to. Well, they really get influenced by America.
Absolutely.
Like-
So they'll come here and be like, "Oh, y'all dress the same as us," but that's because it's influenced by
Yeah,
y'all.
literally biting you.
Yeah.
Like literally, we bite you.
Yeah.
If you see like a very trendy style in America,
The
kids will start
most
wearing
likely. So that's why, like, yeah, like that's why they all feel like, oh, our dress code isn't too far from theirs because it is literally theirs.
Yeah, so yeah, the kids usually mimic the hip hop culture.
Absolutely.
The black or urban culture there in America. So.
And the hip hop culture in South Africa is largely influenced by American hip hop culture.
Yeah, so that's why it's very similar.
The regular stuff.
Like hip hop culture.
Right. When we were in Tanzania, like especially the women wore more traditional clothing. In Rwanda as well. In Kenya, not so much. Kenya, they were wearing like jeans, t-shirts, stuff like that. But we weren't exactly sure how it was going to be here.
Now, one thing that shocked me was how a lot of people have open face goals. Now, where I come from, Louisiana, I seen that a lot. Mainly in like more of the hood areas, ghettos.
Same here.
Yeah.
Gold teeth, mainly in the
Hood, the ghetto.
Yeah, you mainly see that in the hood. Like,
Yeah.
it's very jarring once you actually see it. Like when you're in like the suburban areas, you will rarely see somebody.
You'll rarely see somebody with a
gold
gold tooth. Or
But when
like,
you're in the hood, you see a lot
yeah.
of people with gold teeth.
And like there is certain like stigmatization that comes with it
Yeah.
as well. But like if you think about it, when you from the hood and you in the hood, like
It's their culture.
it's their culture,
It's normal to
basically.
them. It's not weird. It's normal to them. I'm gonna put up that picture of that gold tooth. That's the stigma. That's the stigma that they have. Like the people with the gold tooth.
Yeah.
You can't speak
Like-
proper English or something like that. It's some weird stigma.
Yeah.
Like that. Like yeah, it's weird. But yeah, he's right. You usually find that in the hood. I don't know why. Why is that?
In all places. Even
Why
here.
is that? Why is a
Well-
gold tooth a thing? Why is it a thing? Do you know?
Because it's like, you know how like people like to be flashy. Gold, like if you had gold teeth,
So it's like just being flashy.
yeah, it's being flashy and you sort of seem like you got money or something.
Yeah. All right.
A lot of black people with goals in their mouth.
I think it was more of a thing like in the 90s in America. So
Yeah.
older people
Yeah.
tend to have.
Even here, like it's an old school thing. Like not in the 90s, but like early
You still see quite a
2000s.
lot of
I
people.
know you still see quite a lot of it, but it's an old thing. Like, but now you still you'll hear people like being like, like ridiculed about it, or like who still has a gold tooth, or like you know what I mean, or like the gold tooth era. It's like there's a
So
it's something. It's really old. Like
yeah, so I think that's another byproduct of copying the Americans.
yeah.
Because the Americans in the 90s having gold teeth was a thing. And
Yes.
I guess the people who grew up in the 90s and early 2000s.
A lot of
They
things,
adopted
like if we're being honest, there's a lot of things we put from Americans. Like a lot.
Yeah.
Like the more that they're talking, the more I'm actually realizing, like, oh my god.
We're still gonna see some more. Let's see.
So I don't know if y'all have it permanent here, but it was like that. So that was a real surprise. It really reminded me of home seeing it. Also, another thing would be the tattoos. Now, us going around the continent, we really didn't see a whole bunch of people with tattoos in these
Let's
countries
be
that we've
honest,
been to.
that too. Let's be honest,
Yeah,
that
we
too.
took that from America as well. Well, we took that from Western culture. I
Yes.
don't know if it's American culture per se. I don't know where
What is really our culture? Like us as the new school kids, like leave the traditional
Yeah.
culture and stuff. The Amapiano. But what culture does that come with?
Well,
Like
it's like
in
it's like
terms of like dressing and all of that.
it's
If
hip-hop
it was,
stuff.
it's hip hop, so it's still very Western influenced. But it's just like the music,
Yeah, the music is our culture, but like the whole aesthetic, the way you dress, but the
Yeah,
dances is our own. We have our own
dances
dances.
are our own.
It's just the dressing.
So the next thing we're going to discuss is the cost of living. So with the food, it's definitely good prices. It's definitely not as expensive as a lot of other places. It was shocking how much lower the prices are, just because, like for instance, in Tanzania, there's all these markets on the road where you can get cheaper stuff. But here, it's mostly grocery stores, and the grocery stores are where the things tend to be more expensive. But here, it doesn't really seem to be the case. Also,
So
To an outsider, yeah.
this is the part where I was thinking that I was just staying in SA. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. It really isn't that
It's
bad.
not as
But
bad
it's gonna
as
be bad to
you
us
make it out to
because
be.
I mean anything is bad to someone when you make the situation worse for them. If you get
Yes,
what I
yes,
mean.
yes. So that's our main problem.
Yeah.
We were used to living a much better life,
We
or
actually were used to luxury, if we're being honest. Like, we were very used to luxury. One of the things that made me realize that was the whole load shedding situation. Like, we were actually quite privileged because we had electricity like that. Like, electricity was never an issue for us. But the moment we lost electricity, like, or don't have much electricity, now I started seeing, like, actually there are countries like that are used to that, like
yeah,
that electricity is just not a thing, like
yeah.
Also, the housing was something that surprised us. Now, our Airbnb that we're currently in is different from the one we spoke about in our last video. It's actually even cheaper. We're here for a month and we was only spending $690. And I'm saying this place is a 2-bedroom, it's fully furnished, have everything that you need. And we didn't pay that at any other
housing is
Airbnb in any other
cheaper.
country that we stayed in. We paid almost double in these other countries. So that's saying a lot when it comes to the housing here.
So renting is cheaper. Well, to be fair, I feel like Johannesburg renting is probably very cheap. Like even within South Africa.
Yeah, it's just
Like
that it's just that for South Africans, it's
it's not gonna be the same as it is for them.
that's what I'm saying. Like, because the nice thing is they comparing it to other countries.
Yes.
So it's like in other countries we paying double what we paying
Yeah.
here. So that's why I'm saying that once you see their perspective that no, when they go to other countries and then they
Yeah.
compare it to your essay,
Yeah.
it's not that bad.
It's not
Even
that
though as a
bad.
South African, renting out an Airbnb for a month is not sustainable. Or it's
Yeah.
not affordable
Yeah.
like that. But if you compare
But
it
for
to other
somebody
countries,
who's from another country, they're like, wow, like
yeah, I'm saying if you compare it to other countries,
yes.
it's much better.
Yeah.
Much better because they're paying double in Tanzania.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know what I mean? Me, I always thought like South Africa would be
Do you wanna up there
yeah, like the highest.
in terms of like expensive?
Like we have the highest cost of
But
living.
everybody says it's
South
really cheap here.
Yeah, but it seems like we have one of the lowest
Yes.
cost of living in the continent. So
Yeah.
The next topic we want to get into is how weed is decriminalized here. So we've been to multiple areas downtown and just around our place where we stayed, where we smelled a lot of weed, and people actually talking about how they smoke here. Now, what's shocking is in other countries, it's a huge deal if you get caught with weed out in public or just on your person. You can go to jail for a long time. Here, it's people do it so frequently and so just leisurely that it don't seem like the cops are just really enforcing it that much, like giving people serious time for it. So it just shocked me that so many people do it here. The next
I don't think they know where we come from with this whole situation of weed. Like for us it was exactly like that as well. Like it was bad. Like you literally go to jail if you were caught with weed, even if it was a little bit of weed, like it was illegal. But then the fort was fought. I remember for years, even the Rastafari were fighting for this, for the legalization of weed and things like that, and saying like it's for religious reasons and all of that. And for a long time, it was rejected and all of that. So eventually, I mean, they agreed to it for those reasons and obviously for medicinal purposes and things like that.
But again, it's because America did it. So
But no, America hasn't legalized
they
weed.
have.
Really?
Yes, people can get weed licenses and sell weed like in stores and stuff.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I feel, oh, they saying like in other parts of things. Okay. So you really think that's probably another thing that influenced our legalization of weed?
It happened. It happened after America started legalizing weed.
Oh, then we also legalize it.
Mm.
Oh, guys.
You can only have a small amount of it. If you have a
Yeah.
big enough amount where it's like
Seems
you
like
can
you're
sell it,
selling.
you get arrested.
Yeah.
So they only legalize it to that point where it's like you can only smoke weed for like personal
Yeah.
use. You can only have it for personal use. You cannot distribute it or sell it. in
Yes.
masses like that. So yeah, weed dealers can still get busted for
Yeah.
selling
For
weed,
selling weed.
and they still do get busted for selling
Yep.
weed from time to time.
Now, I'm not a heavier drinker or anything like that, but
And I don't drink at all.
she does. But I drink on occasions, and when I do drink, I usually want something that's really good. So being in these other countries, the liquor selection wasn't like it wasn't very good. I think the best liquor I've seen in these other countries like Jameson or something like that, and that's not really a high-end liquor or top shelf liquor. In like America, anywhere else I've been like that. Here, I mean, you get some serious selection like Glenlivet, just high-end scotches, Hennessy, like anything that you can want literally that you can find in America, you can find also here. And things that are aged 18, 20, 25 plus years. So that was a great thing to see. And so now I can just get the stuff that I actually want. And it's a great price also.
The next
See, dog.
Yep.
That's all I can say about this.
Even those distributors know very well that South Africans they drink.
South African markets is very big on drinking.
Yep.
See, dog.
South Africans drink.
We have a culture of alcoholism.
Alcoholism is actually, it's
Everything that we need to do requires alcohol. Well, almost everything.
yeah, and like a weekend is not a weekend without alcohol.
Yes. Some people literally cannot function without alcohol.
Yeah,
Literally, they cannot function.
like it's a culture.
Yes, it's
Alcohol
our
is
culture.
a culture. Like, yeah,
Have a bride, gotta have alcohol, gotta have your beer,
a party gotta have
gotta
alcohol.
have alcohol. Whatever.
Chill. Even if you're
Whatever
watching
celebration.
TV or
Yeah.
something, bruh, you have to have alcohol. You come from work, you have to have a beer or a cider or something. It's a Sunday morning. Ooh, cold Savannah. It's just like,
Yeah, so it's just
Always a reason
our
to
culture
drink.
promotes alcoholism. So
yeah,
we are a very big alcohol market. So
Yep.
that's why we have such a large variety of
absolutely.
drinks, alcoholic drinks.
And trust me, all those drinks have people
Yes.
that drink them.
Even the for us expensive ones.
The expensive
Like
ones.
Abu Glenfiddich,
Yep.
Abu Doucet and all that.
They have the target market is
People buy them.
right
still.
here.
What's this one here? The Azul, a recent one.
Yep,
People bought that
Azul.
too. Ace of Spades, people were still buying that.
absolutely.
So people know that no, if you wanna flourish, if you want your alcohol to flourish,
Take it to South
take
Africa.
it to South Africa and people will buy it.
thing we're going to talk about is the size of the people. So the people here are bigger, not like fat, but like taller, like especially the men. They're like taller and more muscular. Like when we were in Tanzania, the men are kind of shorter.
So
That's a weird fact.
so I've always had the impression, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the women. Women have always given us the impression that we South African men
Are small.
are small because they usually compare us to Nigerians.
But like, yeah, well, in terms of like West African men, I think West African men are just huge generally. But in other parts of Africa, men are small. Like they have small men. Like I think in Tanzania, like as you say, Tanzanian men are all small. Like they like small. And other places, you see, man, on the TVs when they show them sometimes when they go into the villages and things like that, you'll see they are small, like small people.
Yeah, so it's our women. Our women have like crushed
I
our
think
self-esteem. Y'all crushed our self-esteem.
because
Y'all
they
make
just
us think that we are
South
small.
African women compare South African men to Nigerian men a
Yes.
lot.
Which is wrong. But it's
Yeah.
refreshing to hear somebody say that no, we are not small.
Not the smallest.
We're actually big people, you know. So it's quite refreshing. This is
Well, good for y'all.
this is a good fact.
Good for y'all.
So what do you think?
Yeah, those are pretty interesting. I like these. They brought interesting facts and like like not the regular stuff we're always hearing all the time. So the things that they found shocking were quite interesting.
Yeah, for me, I just realized that okay, we've actually taken a lot from America, and then two, it's not staying in South Africa is not as bad as we think it is.
Yep, absolutely.
We're still one of the best countries to stay in the country. You guys let us know what you think about this video.
Yeah, let us know. What do you think? Like, what do you think of the things that they found shocking? And what do you guys think of the similarities between South Africa and America?
Don't forget to like, subscribe.
And keep watching. Goodbye.
We'll check you guys on the next one.